Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, February 19th. Um, if you're joining me from Facebook, hello. I it's not working. My streaming service is not working with Facebook. I think Facebook has made some changes with third-party apps, and I've got to do some technical. I've been working on it for about a half an hour and just could not get it to work. All my information is old information from my streaming service, how to make the change. But hopefully by next Monday, I'll be live again in Facebook. I hope that you are finding the link. I did put a post in Facebook with the link to come on over here to YouTube. YouTube is so much more friendlier and easier to work with. I don't know why Facebook makes it so hard for all of us. But they do. Um, they do. Anyway, so frustrating. But I think most of you all have YouTube, watch YouTube videos, so that'll be good. I like spending my time over here on YouTube. If you're here, say hello. I'd love to chat with you. Today we're going to continue my series on interactive cards. I think, let's see, let me pull a couple of the cards we've made already. I meant to pull those before we started today. I'll turn the camera around and share those with you. I hope I am live. I don't see any faces on me today. It's concerning. But we were set up to go. Let's make sure that's gonna, if nobody joins us, we'll just have a recording and you can watch the replay. Like I said, I might have messed around with all of the functions, but it does say we are live, and it looks like we are live in YouTube. So hopefully we are. Hopefully I'm not somewhere weird. Okay, the first week we made this interactive card. It's a little Easter card with a pop-up surprise inside, and I left just this blank to write our greeting inside. So that is the first week we did, a little pop-up card, and I showed you how to make this little mechanism here, and you can use it on a landscape card or a actually landscape card or I always forget what this one's called. But that was our first week. And then last week we made a slider card, and I did use a specific die to make the slider card. But today's project we're going to do, and it's also an Easter card. We did a little coloring with our Stampin' Blends. Today's card is an interactive card, and it does not require any special dies to do this slider card. So this is the card. Now I did use some special dies for the embellishment, and I'll show you that later. But if you want to make one of these cards, all you need really is a paper trimmer. And it pops up and the sun rises and it says, "You brighten my cloudy days." This card is so easy to make. You can also make it landscape if you wanted to have like a little critter kind of running across the card this way. It works either way. So if you are on my mailing list, tomorrow you will get a PDF copy of the instruction sheet. I always send out my VIPs on my mailing list a full color instruction sheet to make this card step by step, and then this along with the video tutorial, you should be good to go making these cards with whatever supplies that you have. To get on my mailing list, there's a link in the description that says Tuesday tutorials. If you just click on that link, you can sign up for it there, and you will start receiving that every Tuesday. Okay, to get started, your card base, I'm using a pool party card base, needs to measure 8.5 by 5.5. And then you're going to score it. I'm going to pull out my instructions because I created this last week. And sometimes I forget the measurements. So I said the only tool you really need is a paper trimmer. So you're going to score this at 1/2 inches on the 8.5 inch side. So I'm using my scoring blade on my my paper trimmer, and 4.5, which is different than a normal A2 size card. Normally you would score it at 4 1/4, but we're going to do it at 4.5. So you're going to end up with this little folder situation. Okay, I'm going to set my paper trimmer aside because we're going to need that in a minute. And then the first thing I did is I decided, do I want my card front to be this way? I normally like the fold to be on the front. See the fold on this little tab? So I normally like that to be the front of my card so I don't have this open edge. I don't think it's a big deal, but that's just a personal preference of mine. So the next thing we're going to do is to add our designer series paper, and this paper is free right now. This is the Sunny Days designer series paper, and I will show you if I can find it. It's one of our free options in the, I'm pretty sure, yes, on page 5 of the celebration brochure. And if you don't have the brochure, you can see this on my website, theplaidpoodle.com. If you click on catalogs at the top in the menu bar, all my catalogs are there, and you can view the catalog online. But this paper can be had for free with a $50 purchase. So it just worked really good. I just thought it would be really fun to have that sun rising there. So that is the paper I used. And I just cut a piece, I believe it's it is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And like I said, if you're on my mailing list, you'll get the step-by-step instructions, which will have all that information on it. So make sure you hop on over there or click on that link in the description and get on that list. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Every Tuesday, I send out a free project PDF. And I'll have all the instructions on how to put together this interactive slider card. Okay, I'm going to put my designer series paper on the card front. I'm going to center it on there as best I can. This little tab here is going to go inside the card. That's how we're going to assemble the card, but we need to leave it open for now. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I got this paper on a little crooked. Let's see if I can, well, it's going to have to be. I'm going to take a 1-inch circle punch. You can use a 1-inch die or even just cut a notch. You could cut a V in the top. This is just to leave a little spot for your recipient to know what to do with that, to pull that open. And I'm going to do it about halfway down that punch. So if you have like I said, if you have a 1-inch circle die or a 1-inch punch, or like I said, just cut a V out. And I'm going to put a little tick mark right on the center, which this is a 4-inch panel, so 2 inches is the center. I'm going to be a little persnickety this morning. And make sure that little tick mark is right in the middle of my circle. And there's that. And then I'm going to use that kind of as a guide and cut out the back. I don't think my punch could cut out 3 layers very efficiently. So there we go. That's going to be our little tab. So when we put in our insert, our recipient will be able to grab onto that and pull it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is to add our little cut right here, which will raise the sun or whatever element you choose to use. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and I am going to start at 1.5. I'm looking at my little notes here. You'll notice on my paper trimmer I have a ruler here on the side. So I'm going to start my cutter, my little cutting blade. You could use a craft knife as well. I want this to be about 1 inch in. So here's my 1 inch here. So I'm going to line up this tab line, score line that we made right on that 1 inch line because I want my my cut to be right about here. And then at 1.5, is that what I said? 1.5. I'm going to push that up. I'm going to start my cut and I'm going to take that to 4 1/4, which is right here on my trimmer. And I'm going to cut that a couple of times or run it a couple of times to make sure I got through all those layers. And there it is. You see the little cut? Now you can determine how long you want your cut to be. I just wanted mine to be about however many inches that is. So that's how I did that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a piece, just a little strip. And I've cut a strip, I think it's 5/8 inches. Yes, 5/8 inches by 3 1/4. We're going to put this right through the slit. So here's the cut on the front. And I only need a tiny little area to glue my little sun that I'm going to make, my little die cut. So I'm going to just put it in about that far. And then I'm going to add a dimensional, which is going to kind of hold it. I'm going to leave the paper backing on the top, but it's going to kind of make it so that it's just going to hold it in place for me, if that makes sense. But it's really not necessary to do that, but I kind of like that little, it's a little stop. So my little mechanism doesn't go all the way through. Now we're going to turn it over, and here is the inside of the card. And I'm going to take a piece of double-sided foam tape. Actually, I'm going to just take a strip of this edging from my dimensional sheet. And I'm going to just put it down here. And I'll show you why I'm doing this in just a second. I want it to be down below my little cut. And then I'm going to take my piece of white paper that's going to be my insert. And I've cut this, we're going to trim it down here in a minute, but I've cut this to be 3 3/4 by 5. That's going to be too much. We're going to trim it at the end. I just want to make sure I have enough, okay? So I'm going to adhere this to my little mechanism. And you want to use a stronger adhesive. You could use a piece of window sheet too. It would be clear. I'm just using a piece of cardstock. Now, I'm going to get my mechanism as straight as I can. And then I'm going to center this piece of 3 3/4 by 5 Whisper White or basic white cardstock right on there. And then we're going to close this off now. So I'm going to put some adhesive over here on this tab. And what I think I'm going to do is trim this. I don't want this to be in the way of the tab. So I'm going to trim a little bit of this off. There you go. See how my tab is going to close better now? I don't think it would have mattered, but it kind of bothered me. Okay, so I'm going to place some adhesive here. I'm just using some multi-purpose liquid glue. It's a strong adhesive, and once it dries, it'll be very, very sturdy. It won't pop open because you're going to be, you know, maneuvering your slider card. So you don't want anything to fall apart. So there's our slider card. That's it, guys. That's all you have to do to create your own slider card. And like I said, you could do a landscape card. You could have something running across the bottom of the card and have your sentiment here. It all depends on where you put your little cut. Okay? Now, I am going to pull this as far up as I can and add my sentiment here. And I'm using the Bright Skies stamp set and dies for my card today. We're going to use the cloud and the sun elements from that. So I'm taking the Brighter Skies, You Brighten My Cloudy Days. I thought that really was appropriate with the sunshine. And like I said, I've pulled this. Let me show you. I pulled it as far up as I can, and I'm going to stamp that sentiment. That's why I kind of assembled the card before I even stamped my sentiment, because I want to make sure that it's going to disappear down into that card. When I push it down, it's not going to show. Okay, now we can trim off that top. We could have done that a minute ago, but why? We could use our scissors, or I'm going to just use my trimmer since I've got it here. You just want to make sure you don't I'm going to put a little pencil mark right there, and then line that up with the gutter of my trimmer, because I don't want to cut off the top of my card. And there we go. Okay, now this little pull instruction that I use to kind of give a hint, you could, I think somebody would figure that out if you didn't have the pull sentiment there, but since I have one, I'm going to use it. And it's from the Hooray for Surprises stamp set, and I'm using some Basic Gray, and the little pull sentiment. This is another interactive card situation. I should pull those down. I'll pull a couple of those down and show you what that card does. The die, it's a bundle, and here they are. These are, get my gray ink out of here. These are the cards that we made in my in-person class. using the Hooray for Surprises. These are also interactive cards, and they have dies that create this little pop-up, or you pull it. So that's where I got the pull. I've got this glued down for my display. So I won't be able to mail these to anyone. And then this one, I'm not going to pull it up because it's already, it's made. But when you pull that up, there's a sentiment in there. It says, "You are simply amazing." That way I can send this card to somebody. But those are 2 cards made using that Hooray for Surprises card. Okay, let's finish this card though. So now all that's left, we've got our insert. All that's left is to embellish the front. And what I have done, besides the mess I have over here, we're going to stamp our sun on a scrap of basic white. I have 2 scraps. Oh, no, this is for my raindrops. And then that paper I was talking about earlier, the Sunny Days paper, I'll show you what I did there. I used this paper for our front panel, but they have these clouds on here, and 2 of the dies from the Bright Skies bundle, or dies, 2 of the dies will work with these clouds. Let me see if I can find another little cloud. There we go. So instead of stamping them, which I could have done, but why? I went ahead and cut out a little cloud. I think I did. Yes, I did. Here we go. I went ahead and cut out a little cloud to pop up on my card front. And then I went ahead and cut out, there are also some raindrop dies. These could be watermelon seeds. I always like to think of different ways to use things. And I had a piece of retired, I think this is Pool Party color, kind of a glimmer paper that I used. But the dies, you have the smaller raindrop die and the larger, and I used the larger. So I went ahead and did that all ahead of time. And here's our cloud we're going to pop up. But first I want to put my sun on there so I know where to put my cloud. I'm sorry I'm shaking the camera. We're having an earthquake. All right, so I'm using crushed curry. And all of these colors coordinate with that Sunny Days Designer Series paper. All the colors I used, the Poppy Parade, the Basic Gray, and now the crushed curry. And I've lost my sun. Oh, it's right in front of me. That's one of the things that brought me to Stampin' Up! Was the color coordination. Kind of does all the hard work for me. Okay, so I'm going to stamp 1 sun and 2 suns. Because I'll show you what I did. And I didn't do this ahead of time, so we can do this. The little sun here, you can notice I've popped up this little inner circle. So I'm going to cut the little inner circle out of that sun. I think I'm going to cut it out of this one. And then I've got a die to cut the actual sun. And look at that. I laid that die right on there. Y'all, I can't tell you how hard it was to match these little rays of sun in with the dies, but the Lord was with me today because that just popped right on there. Thank goodness. Sometimes it took me a minute to line them up. All right, and then I'm cutting the center out of this one, okay? So let's grab our, this is our mini cut and emboss machine. And I think these little images will fit just fine in here. I hope my Facebook people will be able to find me. Like I said this morning, my streaming service was not working with the Facebook. Facebook keeps making weird changes, and I just get a little irritated with Facebook. But when I get done here today, I will figure out what is going on and hopefully have it fixed for next Monday, because I know most of my peeps are over on the Facebook, and I miss chatting with you all. Okay, so there's the sun. I popped that little circle up right on top of there, and now this little Stampin' Dimensional that we added, I can put my sun right on top of there. And now when we pull the slider card, the sun rises. Isn't that fun? Okay, now we're almost done. This card is so simple, y'all. I'm going to just plop this little cloud with a couple of dimensionals. And I'm just going to put it right there, kind of in the middle. And then all my little raindrops, I'm just going to add some little dots of glue and use my little pick tool here to add those real quick. They don't want to flip to the right side. There we go. Okay, that is our card. That's our third interactive card in this month's series. Isn't that cute? We could add some little things here and there. And then if you wanted to write your sentiment, you can just write something on the back. Or you could adhere this to a normal card front, just like this. It would just increase the thickness of it. So that is that card. Last week we did the spinner card. I should set up some playlists on my YouTube so that you can see. I could put an interactive card playlist. This was our spinner card. Little Easter card. And then the first week of February, we did this little Easter card with the pop-up element. And I showed you how to make a pop-up mechanism inside your card to make a pop-up card. So we've got our pop-up card, our spinner card, and our slider card. And who knows what next week will be? I don't. I am going to figure that out this afternoon and get it ready. Like I said, it is Monday, February 19th. If you are not on my mailing list, if you hop on over there before 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, because that's when the emails go out, you can get the PDF step-by-step instructions on how I put together that slider card. So be sure you do that. The link is in the description. It says Tuesday tutorials. So just go there and sign up for those, and you'll get that tomorrow morning. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I am really having a good time with this series. And just go out and have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon. Happy stamping.